Emily is a Way To is a nice little relaxing kind of game that you can play in your spare time about having a conversation with two different girls, I guess. I don't really know how to put it other than that, really. The game kind of takes place in this small little window that you actually just pulls up onto your desktop. There's no full screen mode or anything like that because it's kind of trying to imitate this like AIM kind of instant messenger that you would use back in the day. The game takes place in 2006, so it's kind of what you would use on the earlier days of the internet to, send messages between friends and stuff like that and have conversations and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's actually really cool. It has a lot of charm to it for sure. There's not a lot of games that do anything like this. The game kind of gives you as much freedom as you kind of can have in this sort of scenario. It gives you 3 different choices to say, like to reply back to whatever the person says to you, which gives you a little bit of freedom on what you can actually like conversate about a little bit or how you respond to them. I think overall it kind of goes sort of towards a linear path because, obviously you can't just go off on some random tangent because then the game would never get the point across. But I mean, at least you get to actually like tell the people what you would kind of say in certain situations. Like I felt like there was really an option for 3 different kinds of personality types almost, and you can kind of choose which one you want to play as almost by saying what you think your character would say or whatever. So I don't know, there's a little bit of freedom, but altogether it's a pretty linear game. So the basic gist of the game is you are a kid in the later years of high school. I think it was junior year you start off in. It might be earlier than that, I can't remember exactly, but you play in high school and you are your character. I mean, you can choose whether or not, you basically just have a screen name and an actual name in the game. You don't choose like a whole profile or anything by any means, but your whole thing is you're talking to 2 different girls that go to your high school, I guess. And you kind of get to choose which one you want to pursue almost, or as from what I looked up, there's tons of different endings to the game, but you can choose which person you want to kind of have a relationship with, or if you want to, you can not have one at all and kind of just friend zone both of them, which I thought was kind of funny. So that's cool, I guess. I don't know. It's really cool because you get to watch like the development of their characters because of what you say and stuff like that. And I thought that was really interesting because it actually feels like you're talking to someone, I guess, with as much, freedom as you have with, replies and stuff like that. They, respond back to what you say and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of cool. I've never played a game like this before, so kind of took me back a step. There's 5 different chapters in the game, and through each of the chapters it kind of progresses towards a relationship or, whatever you're trying to accomplish with either of the characters. I think once you hit... I think it was either later in chapter 2 or it might have been chapter 3. It kind of starts to give you like a narrowed path, and where it starts to give you like a time limit on how much time you have to respond to the person or they'll get mad at you. And I think it's chapter 3, you're having a conversation with both of the girls at the same time, and there's a time limit for both of their conversations going, so you kind of have to choose which one you want to reply to more than the other, and that'll kind of like set you on your path towards which girl you're gonna end up talking to more or whatever. I ended up choosing Evelyn, which is not the obvious choice, I guess, considering the game is about Emily, which Emily's the other character. I don't know. It was kind of cool, I guess, just because once you start ignoring the other person in chapter 3, they kind of get mad at you and then, stop talking to you for a while, and then they come back later in the game, I think towards the end of chapter 4 or maybe the beginning of chapter 5, which is the last chapter, and they kind of conversate with you a little bit here and there, and just talk about, weird stuff that high schoolers talk about, I guess. One thing that I actually thought was really neat is that throughout the game, there's different scenarios where they're like, oh my god, I'm listening to music, because if you're a high school kid and you're talking to somebody on whatever messenger you're talking to them on, 9 out of 10 times they're going to say, oh, what are you doing? I'm listening to music. What are you doing? And so in the game, they will send you these YouTube links, and it'll actually, when you click on the link in the game, it will open up your browser, but it's kind of like a knockoff, like pixelated version of what YouTube looks like, but it actually plays like real YouTube songs, like real YouTube videos on their little player, which I thought was really like charming and interesting. And there's even some like side like videos that you can click on of like old YouTube videos, which I thought was hilarious, because there's the old like Leave Britney Alone video and the Numa Numa video, which I thought was so funny. I actually have a clip of me clicking on that, so here's that. Oh my god. There's also a couple points in the game where they'll send you like documents or whatever, like one of them sends you like a chat log between two different characters. I think it's Emily sent me a chat log of her and her boyfriend, so that way she could ask me whether or not she was in the wrong, or if he was in the wrong or whatever, and I didn't know it at the time because I don't have desktop icons enabled on my computer, but it actually, like, when you click on it, it saves the file to your desktop, and you can actually like open the little text document, or it's mainly just pictures, but it'll open a picture up of the document itself, like the text logs or whatever, and then one of them sends you like a picture, or just, I don't know, there's a couple different instances. One of them sends you a poem, you can read the poem. That kind of threw me off a little bit because I had no idea how to access them at the time, so I was like, oh my god, like, they're asking me questions about this and I have no idea how to even view it. But yeah, so, you know, keep your desktop icons on, I guess, if you're going to play this game. Throughout the game, there's different questions that the two different girls will ask you. Like, some of they both end up asking you about drinking alcohol and stuff like that, and depending on which choice you actually say, it will bring those choices back around kind of towards the end of the game. Like, I was in a relationship with Evelyn in chapter 5, and she ends up talking to Emily at some point, and I guess I had told Emily that I didn't drink, and then I told Evelyn that I did drink, and she basically broke up with me and broke my heart, and I'm still tore up about it over one small little lie. So if you're gonna play the game, don't lie, please. Don't. Just, I loved her. Anyways, altogether, I thought this was a really neat little game. I think it's only like $5, and if you actually want to play the first Emily is Away, it's free to play on Steam, which I thought was kind of cool. I've never played the first one, but I would actually be interested in going back and playing it, just because it's kind of a neat little interesting, you know, game to play. And when I was looking for it, they actually said that the third game is coming out, and that one is going to take place where the instant messenger is gone, because everything has, you know, progressed forward in time at this point, and you start using like an actual like Facebook Messenger instead, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, I don't know, it kind of just takes like the old like real world, you know, scenario and kind of, you know, transports it over into a game, and I thought that was kind of neat. So altogether, the game is not very expensive. It's like $5, so I would say that the game is like a solid like 3 out of 5. Like, it's not bad at all. It actually has like overwhelming scores on Steam, which I thought was really cool. But I mean, the only reason I'm giving it the score that I'm giving it is because it's not really a game that I would pick and choose, like if I was just playing games regularly. So I mean, if you're interested in it, I would definitely say grab it. But from my kind of point of view, it was a cool game, but I don't think I would just play it if I like just had the choice. I would probably pick something else. So, oh well. Anyways, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, taking the time, listening to me about playing this game. And yeah, so So there should be some links on the screen as always. Click on one of those to watch some of my older videos, or subscribe if you want to see some newer videos in the future. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.